Welcome, everyone, to the Warehouse 231 podcast. Hope you are all doing well. And as always, if you have not subscribed, click on that subscribe button below. So before we get started, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that people have asked. Some of these have been over Facebook comments. One person asked me, is there really an alligator in the pond? Yes, there is. I've actually seen 2 alligators in the pond, but typically I think there's just one. There's also various other wildlife that goes on out there, such as herons and cranes, ducks, some geese. Not as many geese as I went out the other day, and there were feathers all over the place, so I think something got a hold of it. I don't think it was the alligator. I think it's a little black cat that hangs around out there. But yes, there is an alligator out there, and I do post pictures every once in a while on Facebook or Instagram. And this is another episode that I'm going to feature 3 songs. It's about 20 minutes long, so you can listen in your car on the way to work or at the gym, and the best experience is listening with earbuds or on your car speakers, because listening to music on your phone speaker pretty much sucks. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our first song from a band I know a little something about, the band Goin, where I participate playing guitar in. This song was the first release from Goin back in September of 2022. It has a guitar riff in it that when I write a guitar riff, I just usually come up with some weird random name so I can kind of remember what it is. And the name of this riff was called GaGa Viva. And we finished writing the song and added the lyrics, and asked our singer Jeff, so what's going to be the name of the song? And he said GaGa Viva. And you'll also recognize this song as I use the main riff to start and end this podcast. Here's GaGa Viva by Goin Nowhere.
Everybody knows how she comes out of her clothes and she steps into your head. Drag you down the road. Love it don't come free when you're blind and cannot see. Wake up lying on the floor.
That was GaGa Viva by Goin Nowhere. No one seems to know where the lyrics came from. They just kind of fell from the sky, but it's worth you guys going back and listening again and taking in the lyrical masterpiece. Next up is a cover of a classic rock song. Actually, it's two covers of the same rock song, just done a little bit differently. These covers came about from a project my friend Rick Hansen is working on. Rick has written a novel and is currently presenting it online via YouTube. Not only is there storytelling, there's also graphics and really classic rock music, new music, and I've been fortunate enough to be involved in helping record some of this music. His project is a lot more in depth than that, but I do have Rick lined up to come on the show to talk about the project, so look for that in another episode. I will say, however, his project is a very creative way for artists to get their music out there and heard, rather than throwing it into the black hole that I call Spotify. So the next two songs that are coming up, which are the same song, just different flavors, came out well before Spotify, well before CDs, well before cassettes. It's All Along the Watchtower, which was originally written by Bob Dylan, and most people know the Jimi Hendrix version. Dylan recorded the song in 1967, and it's a conversation between a joker and a thief. Hendrix recorded for Electric Ladyland in 1968. He started recording in England at Olympic Studios, which had only 4 tracks. Hendrix also ended up playing bass on the song as well. Hendrix then moved to New York City in 1968, and with the help of producer-engineer Eddie Kramer and 16 more tracks, it became the song you know today. Was released in September 68 and became a top 20 single that year. So that gets me to the first version of All Along the Watchtower we're going to listen to here. Both versions were recorded here at Warehouse 231 by Mark, Steve, and Neil of OTI. These guys are so good, they essentially knocked these out in 1 or 2 takes. So here's All Along the Watchtower, version 1.
Must be some kind of way out of here, said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman, they drank my wine. Plowman, dig my herb. None were level on the line. Nobody offered his word. Hey, yeah. Get excited, the thief he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour's getting late, yeah. Princes kept their view, while all the women came and went with barefoot servants too. And outside in the cold distance, a wildcat did growl. 2 riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl.
right, that was flavor number 1 of All Along the Watchtower. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Before moving on to flavor number 2, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Click on the subscribe button below, and also go like our Facebook page and go check out warehouse231.com. And while you're at Warehouse 231, make sure you sign up for the email list, because I do send out emails that include things that are not here on my podcast or the Facebook page. So speaking of this podcast, and I'll get to flavor number 2 of All Along the Watchtower in a minute, somebody asked me the other night, so what's the name of your podcast? And I don't really have a name. I don't really have a name yet. I'm sure at some point I'll have a name. It's not that big a deal right now, but it's just kind of one of those things that pops in your head and you go, oh, that would be a good name, and then it sticks with you. So that's kind of how my brain works creatively. A good friend of mine and bandmate Daniel the Professor Armstrong gave me a book last night called The War of Art, Winning the Inner Creative Battle. And I was able to finish it last night, and I do suck at reading, but it goes into creativity, creative people, and where does creativity come from, and what really are the barriers to the creative process. It gets into resistance and fear. So it's worth a read. I'll try to have a link below in the description to the book. And why am I talking about this? Because at some point I'm probably going to get into AI music, AI creativity in some episode and go on a tirade about that. But we'll save that one for another episode. But feel free to leave me your thoughts on AI in the comments below, and please type them yourself. Don't make them AI generated. Okay, let's move on to flavor number 2 of All Along the Watchtower. And for all of you still listening, thanks for staying aboard. Go ahead and turn your volume knob up a little bit as Neil, Mark, and Steve crank out this version of All Along the Watchtower.
Must be some kind of way out of here, said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman, they drank my wine, plowman, dig my earth. None will ever on the line, nobody offered his word. Hey, hey, yeah.
And that was flavor number 2 of All Along the Watchtower from the guys in OTI. And if I remember correctly, we did that pretty much in one take here in the studio, so that was basically a live session. And as I mentioned earlier, those songs are part of a larger online novel being written and produced by Rick Hansen. So watch for my Warehouse 231 podcast interview with Rick Hansen, where he goes over his online novel idea. And I also look forward to featuring more songs from this project, some that we've already recorded and others that we're looking to record in the next few weeks. One of them may even have something to do with Tokyo. Well, that wraps up this show. Please let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. As always, thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time.